Ladies and gentlemen, for the duration of this feature film, please turn off your cell phones. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to the 13th annual Hashevaynu Dinner. Thank you for joining us.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
And on that day, Jews looked around at those coming back from learning in Israel's paradise and said they need a caretaker. So Hashevaynu was born. They said they need someone willing to stay up until dawn, teach them Torah, help them live in the frum world, teach them Torah again, lend a listening ear, then go to the office and stay past midnight to console a crying father. So Hashevaynu was born. They said they need somebody willing to stay up all night with a new Baal Tshuva, and cry with them, and dry their tears, and help them laugh again. They need somebody who can take a blowtorch and kasher their kitchens, hammer a mezuzah into their new doorposts, who can walk them down the aisle, make a shalom zachar and a bris, who all year round will finish their 40-hour week by Tuesday noon, and then without batting an eye put in another 72 hours. So Hashevaynu was born. They said they need someone strong enough to defend a fellow Jew and fight their battles, yet gentle enough to give them a place to call home, a shoulder to cry on, and a friend to lean on, who will drop everything to mend the wounds of a broken soul. So Hashevaynu was born. It had to be someone who would be honest and straight and not cut corners, someone who can teach, reach, preach, beseech, and care, and give, and guide, and love, and give a hug, and shed a tear, someone who can create a family for them with the soft, strong bonds of caring, who would laugh and never sigh, and then reply, with smiling eyes, when those who have chosen the Torah path have children who say that they want to live their lives the way their parents now do. So Hashevaynu was born.
The Torah promises that even if we are scattered to the four corners of the world, Hashem would gather us from there to return to our land. If we meditate on how exactly Hashem plans to do that, we'll see in our mind's eye a singular house with a blue door where Jewish souls are welcome, and realize that this door is a magical portal that allows scattered Jews to become gathered. Here, we are nurtured, cared for, and educated to find our place in the Torah world. Thank God for Hashevaynu.
It's hard to believe how much progress Hashevaynu's made in the last 3.5 years. I remember 3.5 years ago when the opportunity for this shul came about, and Rabbi Zach was a nervous wreck. He was pacing the old office, saying, what do we need so much space for? Why do we need a shul? Does the neighborhood need another shul? Is this shul going to serve some purpose? And how are we going to fill it up? And I still remember the first Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, where we had plenty of elbow room, but it's filled up very quickly. There's literally lines to get in on Shabbos. It's serving a purpose that we didn't even realize we were filling when we started this shul. There are kids who wouldn't otherwise be going to shul. Not only kids, there are young adults, there are older adults who wouldn't otherwise be going to shul because they don't have a place where they feel comfortable. And Hashevaynu, they come, they daven, there's no judgment. There's also no shushing, and yet there's no talking. It's an unbelievable thing. I've davened in a lot of shuls throughout my life. I've never seen anything like it. People are happy to be there. People don't treat it like a chore or an errand. It's just a great place to be. It's a great place to come daven.
Approximately 21 years ago, when Hashevaynu began, Rabbi Zakatinsky and his Rebbitzin had approached myself and my wife to host some guests for their organization. At first we were a little hesitant, but of course anything that Rabbi Zak asks for, we do. And I'll tell you, it was the most amazing experience that I've ever had. My Shabbos table was jumping. The people who we had were unbelievable. They had the sweetest hearts, and they were really striving and thirsting for just a beautiful, beautiful Shabbos. And Baruch Hashem, we were able to accommodate them.
Hashevaynu started out as an organization that's mission statement was to explore the idea of encouraging Jews to come back to Yiddishkeit, to be a support system for those who experienced some experience in Eretz Yisrael, in Israel, whether it be in yeshiva, whether it be in seminary. And when they come back to the United States, to go and connect with somebody. I have to say that Hashevaynu is an organization that encourages people to grow, to continue on this journey, whether it be through shiurim, whether it be through Shabbatons, whether it be through shidduchim, whether it be job placement, anything the person needs, Hashevaynu has been and continues to be there for them.
In a world where we are longing for closeness, for intimacy in our relationships, in a world where perhaps the closeness that we have can be described as a relationship of back to back, two people who can be so close to each other, yet have the world to bridge. We ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we no longer want a relationship back to back. Hashevaynu, bring us that we can have a panim el panim, a face-to-face relationship with you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashevaynu is the answer to that cry of our generation, to that cry of emotional closeness. When I walk into a classroom, when I walk into the Hashevaynu shul to teach a class, I see so many young women looking to have that kind of emotional intimacy with God, with their peers, with the world. Hashevaynu is here to serve the needs, to serve the dreams of all of these young people. Hashevaynu is the heartbeat of our community. It's the answer to the call that we're so desperately yearning for.
One of the coolest things, having been involved with Hashevaynu for the last 18 years, I think, is watching people. You know, there's a certain look people have when they first come to Hashevaynu. It's sort of like a dazed, lost puppy look, like they don't know where to go, they don't know what to do, they don't know how to matriculate into this new world that they've chosen. And then to watch them over the years, and having been involved over the past 18 years, just watching that transformation over and over again every single year, to watch it happen with so many different people from so many different backgrounds, it's just really gratifying to see that over the span of time.
I had gone to Hashevaynu, to different shiurim, and they were always wonderful. I was always so very lucky to come for Yom Tovim and enjoy the Zakatinsky's home, Adina's delicious food, Rabbi Zak, their kids, amazing. And I was told, come to Queens. My husband and I picked ourselves up and we moved to Queens. The transformation for my children have been amazing, especially my son. He said to me that he finally found a minyan. He has a place to go and feel at home. My husband's so excited. Every Friday night he's excited to go to shul. It's home, it's family, and it's an absolutely wonderful place to be. And I'm definitely happy to be here.
They have unbelievable shiurim and classes for all the boys and girls to partake in and to gain from. Matter of fact, during the week, there are many shiurim classes for even the balabatim here in the neighborhood. I myself happen to attend one of the shiurim on Monday nights, which is the shiur on Hasidism, and it's an amazing, amazing shiur given by Rabbi Yossi Zakatinsky. You get such a feeling when you walk out of that shiur that you just want to get up and dance, grab your fellow Jew, hug him, kiss him, dance with him, just have a great time with him because he's another Yiddish neshama. And whether it's you're a boy or a girl from the Hashevaynu organization or you're a balabas, it doesn't matter. There's no difference between you or any of the people from Hashevaynu. We're all one. We're all Yiddish neshama, and that's the way Hashevaynu likes to portray it.
My wife and I moved into Queens after we got married about 2 years ago, and I remember being so nervous as to where would I go, where would we daven, where would our friends daven, and I remember having my first Shabbos at Adam Pomerantz's, and he told me, he says, David, there's one place in town, best game around, Hashevaynu, and at the time I had not known about it. Later I found out a lot of my friends had benefited from Hashevaynu when they were in Queens College, and I said, okay, I'll try it out. I remember walking in my first Shabbos and being greeted, of course, as we all get greeted, by Rabbi Zakatinsky with a big warm hug, an amazing davening, and incredible drasha from Rav Yossi. And I said to myself, that's it. Adam was right, best game in town, and this is my place. It's been really an incredible opportunity being a part of the Hashevaynu family, and it's something that my wife and I have benefited tremendously from in so many different ways.
A lot of people don't realize, I think, that when you transition from the yeshiva lifestyle and you transition into a secular or a college lifestyle, people don't realize that there is some aspect of withdrawal, some aspect of missing what you used to have, whether you want to call it spiritual fulfillment. My relationship with the rabbi and the shul and the organization, the institution as a whole, has grown tremendously. I've come to really love the family, love the shul, and it's become a home for me. I'm from the West Coast, so when I came here, there was again a little bit of loneliness. You know, I'm away from my family, I'm away from my parents, away from my brothers and my sisters, and all of that.
One week the Rebbitzin came up to me and she told me, she said, David, I want you to know that we're going to be your family away from home. And I remember when the Rebbitzin said that to me, that I couldn't believe it. I
try to frequent the Zakatinskys as much as possible. I try to come around the shul as much as possible. I try to be as close to the family and the shul as possible, because to me, to people like me, who go to yeshiva and then transition and don't have a yeshiva and don't have a support system. I can say, honestly, as a guy who went to yeshiva my entire life, if not for the shul, not for Hashevaynu, I would have little to no Judaism in my life. Every single week, I drive home from work on Fridays, and I look forward to my hug. I don't know what to say. I look forward to that big, bare, warm hug. I don't know how it's possible. I don't know how he does it. Every single week, that hug, it just lifts you.
One of the first things that you notice at Hashevaynu is the absolute hospitality that you experience, whether it's just walking into shul and the nature and the environment and the atmosphere that's there, or the walking through the blue door on Shabbos at the Zakatinsky's house and experiencing an incredible Shabbos meal, or calling Rabbi Zach at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday because you need a last-minute meal for you and your buddies. It's all around just an incredibly warm environment, incredibly welcoming environment. It's not something that you find very often, that kind of caliber of warmth, or that caliber of welcoming.
Hashevaynu has so much to offer. All three Rabbi Zachs are amazing at delivering messages, inspiring. In particular, I want to talk about Rabbi Avi Zakatinsky. He's just a wealth of knowledge, and people are learning to tap into that. There's a group that learns after davening in the morning. They've already finished one Masechta. I think they're on their way towards their second Masechta. There's a lot of learning going on in Hashevaynu, and the different personalities that teach in Hashevaynu, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Avi, Rabbi Judah, they all have very different styles, and so that everybody who comes to Hashevaynu finds some fit for them. And it's really an incredible thing that you have people that you can learn from, that you can relate to. It's pretty much custom tailored for whoever walks in that door. Avi jokes all the time that he didn't know how to run a shul and he learned on the job, but having been there from the beginning, I can tell you that he learned very quickly and very well, and he does an excellent job of keeping that shul running like a well-oiled machine.
When we started Hashevaynu 21 years ago, the hope was that we would be able to create a family. The hope was that when people would come, they would feel a sense of love, of belonging, a sense of the ability to grow spiritually to where they should be, where they dream to be. And you know what? Because of everybody here, that dream has become a reality. Without you, it wouldn't happen. With you, look what's happening. It's amazing. And now what we need to do is take the next step and grow even more. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's just amazing.